guys, it's Melanie from MelanieKham.com. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, look at those pumpkins. Okay, I've had this idea in my head forever, and it's combining two of my loves, embroidery and yarn. Gorgeous embroidery technique, but we're going to use yarn and we're going to put it on some crochet. So I'm going to walk you through all the steps on how to make these pumpkins, and then real quick I'll show you how I made this pillow, but you can apply this technique to tons of different projects. So I'm excited to see what you guys do with it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. All the details will be on my blog. Down in the description box below are links. All right, everyone, let's make these adorable pumpkins. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. These are my samples. And so you can see I tried it with the 3 and I like the 4 better. You need some orange yarn. This is Red Heart Super Saver in pumpkin, and then a green, whatever kind of green for your stem. You need a very small amount of this, so even scraps would be great. You need a metal darning needle with a thinner eye. Okay, because we got to pull that all the way through our wrapped yarn. And so if you have one of those eyes that flare out, it's going to be hard to pull through. Some scissors, and then you need a background piece. This is just a panel of single crochet. I like the single crochet because you can really see and be able to measure out exactly where you want your pumpkins. I'm going to do 3 along the bottom, and then 2, and then another 3, and just make like a little pillow to show you guys. But you know, you could apply this technique to anything. So to find my center, I'm just going to kind of fold it. I can kind of see where that is, just so that I'm keeping everything even. That being said, you know, have some variation in your pumpkins. It's going to be so cute to have a slightly different stem, a slightly different side, you know, a slightly different shape, and that's going to really make it feel more handmade and organic. It's going to come out that way a little bit anyway because you're not going to be able to get them all perfect. So might as well just kind of do it on purpose. Take out the yarn. You need a, you know, decent long strand of the orange, and then thread your needle. Here's our spot. We're going to come up from the top. So this will be the top of our pumpkin. Pull that through. You're going to leave a tail, so don't pull it all the way through. All right, so we've got our yarn here on the top of our work. Then we're going to place our yarn needle into where we want the bottom to be. And we're going to pull it up in the exact same spot where we put the yarn in. Okay, now before we pull that all the way through, I'm just going to hold it securely, and I'm going to wrap my yarn around the needle 10 times. Okay, make sure it's not too tight on there because we need to now pull that needle through. So using my fingers, I'm going to hold on to this wrapped yarn. I'm going to pull this through, holding it. And then as this gets tighter, I'm going to bring it around and hold it toward the end. Pull that through. Okay, holding your fingers on it like that will keep any yarn from at the end from looping. And I'm going to show you that again, don't worry. Then we're going to put the needle down into that spot. The 2 center ones, the yarn is wrapped around 10 times. And the outer ones need to sort of flare out a little bit more, and so those are wrapped around 14 times. Okay, needle goes back up. This time we can pull it all the way through, since there's no tail. Back down to the base, up through the top. Okay, and then before we pull it all the way through, we're going to hold it securely, wrap around 10 times. Making sure it's not too loose, not too tight. We don't want it floppy, but we don't want it so tight, you know, that we can't pull it through. All right, holding our fingers down, pull it through, and continue pulling it all the way through till there's very little slack. And then holding it down, we're gonna rotate it and hold it as we pull the rest through. And it's secure, and then you can kind of fan out those wrapped bits. Okay, and then go back down. Okay, now we're going to do the sides. We're going to wrap it around a little extra all the way through, so there's no loops happening back there. Back into the base, needle up, and when I'm wrapping, I'm going around like this to the, pulling it to the right, and then when I'm finishing here. Okay, so we're going to do 14 times. 1, 2, there's 14. That one got a little tight, so I'm just sort of loosening it up, pulling it through. And then we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to lead the yarn on this left side. That way our outer two pieces have 14 wraps. Okay, 14. And when it has a little bit more on there, I do find it gets a little tighter. So make sure that it loosens up a little bit. And then you can kind of manipulate these. You can use your needle to pop some out, kind of stretch them out a little bit, get them into the nice spot. Then we're basically done with our pumpkin, so we're just going to use this tail and this tail and tie a little knot. Now let's do our stem, and you don't need a very long piece at all. Thread your needle, come up from the bottom, pull up so that it leaves a tail, and then we're going to basically wrap it around 3 times to create our little stem. Okay, same thing. Tie a knot on the back. And then I also like to go into the green, fluff it up a little bit. So basically this is embroidery, just using yarn. I hope you loved learning how to make these yarn pumpkins, crocheted pumpkins, embroidery pumpkins. Happy stitching! All right, now check it out. I made mine into a pillow. So I've got my pumpkins. I put a single crochet border all the way around it, and then I backed it with some purple, just single crochet, the exact same thing. And then I put fiber fill in here. So you want to kind of shove the fiber fill in there, make sure it's nice and evenly distributed. Then what we did was I sewed the 2 pieces together with yarn and our yarn needle that we've been using for this project anyways. And then once we have it all stuffed, we can close it up with our yarn, sew it all together, and then it's ready to go. But keep in mind, you can utilize this technique on tons of projects, whether it's a crocheted project or even a sewn project. Make sure to tag me on social media so I can see how you guys utilize this technique.